me before we proceed. Okay, great. Let me just go here and bring this. Are you ladies seeing my PowerPoint presentation? Okay, great. Thank you, Miss Patsy. Hi, Miss Patsy. How did you
Yes.
today? Glad to have you in the session this afternoon, though.
Yes, glad to be here.
Okay, great, great. Well, ladies, welcome back. One more day in the module 3, the third module of the digital literacy program. Yesterday, we had some technical difficulties, but nonetheless, we managed to go through the session. And today, we're looking at the last part of the module. Second day, we're looking at the last part of the module. So I will just pick up from where we left yesterday and see if we can cover most, if not all, that is left for the module. Okay. Let me just here with my slide. Yes. So yesterday we basically looked at some points on how to better manage our smartphone device, right? So it was a few tips here and there on how we can make efficient use of our smartphones, considering that these devices are mostly being created or targeted to a younger audience, right? So we looked at that, and we just got to touch the introduction of managing applications on our smartphone devices. So that is where we're going to start today, managing these applications on our smartphone devices. So just to recap again, applications or apps, as we usually would call those, these are programs that our phones have to help us access information. Okay, so it depends on what type of information we're trying to access. So these apps have different purposes, different functionalities. So we have apps for entertainment, we have apps for news, we have apps for fitness, and so on. Okay, and some of the apps that we looked at throughout the program would include like WhatsApp, Facebook. We spoke about Instagram or Pinterest. You know, these are some common applications that we normally use. So, but these phones come with built-in applications already, which, I mean, speaking honestly, I don't use a lot of those applications. So what we want to do is be able to manage these applications more efficiently. If we don't need them, we can get rid of them. One, to make space, and two, to make it easier for us to navigate through those applications that we want to use or that we use more often, right? So that is what we're going to be looking at when we are going to be speaking about managing applications, right? So first of all, the first place we go to when we are talking about apps or applications on our mobile device would be the Play Store for Android devices or the Apple Store for iPhone users. Okay, so this application is the application that allows us to manage all other applications on our device. So during this part of the program, we're going to be looking at a lot of the different functionalities within the Play Store application. Okay. So first of all, let's take a look at, or just kind of recap the steps taken to download an application. Right? It's quite basic and very user-friendly, I would say. Right? I think it's only a matter of having an idea of how to follow the process to get an application downloaded. So of course, again, just to recap, first of all, we need to go to our Play Store. So the Play Store would be for, again, as I mentioned, Google users, anyone who has a Samsung or a Nokia, HP phone, Windows phone. These would be Android users. And then we have the App Store for Apple users or iPhone users. So once we access that application, we will then search for the app that we want to download, right? Perhaps we don't know the name of the application, but similar to when we are searching in Google, we can just type in search words to search for different applications, right? So once we enter search words, the Play Store will provide us with suggestions or any application that meets the criteria that you entered in the search engine. And then once you enter the search words, you will just browse through the apps on the screen, right? So you have plenty of apps that will appear as a result. And once you have found the application that you want to download, all you have to do is simply tap on the name of the app. And once you tap on that app, it will give you the option to install the application, right? So I'm pretty sure you all are aware that some of the applications you would have to pay for them, right? Not all of the applications are free. So it's easy to download the free applications. If it's an app that you have to pay for, there is an additional step to the process where we would need to enter payment information, okay? So right now we're just looking at the apps that we can download for free. So once we tap install on that application, it will automatically start downloading, right? So once it's downloaded, it is added automatically as well to your home screen or to your apps menu screen. So you can go back and look at that app whenever you're ready to work with it, right? So when it comes to downloading applications, one important thing to highlight to you ladies is make sure you're connected to Wi-Fi before downloading any application. This will help you avoid any additional cost to data usage. Okay, so sometimes we may have purchased our $1 data from Digicel or a data package from Smart. This data package is different from the Wi-Fi, right? So when we download applications using our data, it uses up more data. Not that it uses up more data, sorry. It can consume a lot of your data. So it's suggested, make sure you're connected to a Wi-Fi because Wi-Fi, it's free of access. Sorry, free to access, right? And it is unlimited. So you can use as much gigabytes or you can download as much megabytes when it comes to using Wi-Fi. So again, try to always be connected to a Wi-Fi before downloading any application on your device. So we are speaking about downloading apps, right? But how do I know, or how do we know which apps are safe to download? Again, speaking about online safety, cybersecurity, we know that there are various threats out there that can infiltrate our device without us knowing. They can infiltrate our device and they can access our personal information. They can access private information for the purpose of malicious intent, right? They have malicious intent with that. So they can do that. through an application. Okay, so we need to be extra careful in ensuring that we have done our part in ensuring that our apps are safe. There's no virus or malware or ransomware being downloaded along with the app. So how do we do that? Here's a checklist that we can follow when we are about to download an application, right? And I had shared most of this checklist yesterday. So first of all, we want to check how many downloads that application has had. Okay, and all of this information, all of this checklist, you can go through it and follow through it once you select the application that you want to download. Before you tap on install, there is a lot of information in that application that can give you the answers to these questions, right? How many downloads it has had. You can also read reviews and check the ratings that previous users have given to this specific app. So the better the reviews, the higher the ratings, the more comfortable you feel that this application is safe to download. Also read the description, right? Not just because you want to ensure that it's safe, you want to read the description because you want to ensure that it is doing what it says it's supposed to do and that it is meeting your need. We don't want to be downloading applications just because it is free to download, right? We want to be downloading applications that will be useful for us. And last but not least, double check the source. Who created that application? Who created the application? So again, let's follow this checklist when we are to download applications on our devices. Okay, so we looked at downloading applications and how to ensure that whichever applications we download are safe. So we have downloaded applications on our device. How do we keep them up to date? And why is it important to keep them up to date? Let me address the importance of keeping your apps up to date. Because with technology, everything is just changing daily. Anything that relates to IT. It evolves every minute, right? So the same thing with these applications. So sometimes the developers for these applications may find that there is something in the app that they can make more efficient and they fix it, right? But for us to be able to get that fixed, we have to update the app, right? We have to update the app. The same thing with protection of the app. Let's say, for example, today, they placed some sort of security on the app and it is safe. But tomorrow, the hackers, they develop another attack for which this app is not prepared. So what the app developers have to do is they have to include another type of protection to the app. But the only way we're going to get that additional protection is if we update the app. Okay, so that is why it's important for us to update our applications. One, because we want to be receiving any new functionalities, any new displays that they have been made, or that they have made to the apps. And two, we want to ensure that our apps have the most updated security measures as well. So it is very, very important for us to continuously update our apps. So how do we update our apps? We need to modify our preferences in our settings, right? And I'm talking about your Play Store settings or your App Store settings for Miss Corinne in this example, right? She is an iPhone user. So we need to access the Play Store app for us to be able to modify our settings. And again, I have developed a small tutorial, video tutorial here using my device to be able to show you how to update apps on your mobile device, right? So again, and I will just state the disclaimer that maybe your device is not the same as mine. So the steps will not be exactly the same, but they should be similar, right? So if maybe it doesn't have the same setting names, but the concept and the idea is the same, right? So let me, and this video tutorial, unfortunately, I wasn't able to do the voiceover. So I will run through the tutorial along with you while the video is playing. Okay. So again, this is just to show you how to update apps on your mobile device. So the first thing that we need to do is to select the Play Store app. Okay, so we will tap the Play Store app to open the Play Store. Okay, so here, I just opened the Play Store and you notice that it gives me a lot of different application suggestions or recommendations, right? But we're not going to look at that. I want us to look at our Play Store settings. And to access our Play Store settings, we go all the way to the top where it has our account information. Okay, so whether you are an Android user or an iPhone user, normally your settings would be right up the top where your account information is located. So I will tap at the top there to open my settings. And this is what it displays, okay? And as I mentioned, I am looking for settings, so I will select settings here. I'll just play this again. Okay, so once I selected my settings, you will notice that there are different setting options that I can manage in the Play Store. I am specifically looking for this first one that says account auto update preferences, right? So I will select or I will tap on this one that says general to expand the options. Okay. So you'll notice now that I have additional settings that I can manage here. I want us to look at specifically two settings here. And the first one is this one that says app download preference and auto update apps. So this first one is addressing downloading of applications. And the second one is addressing updating of applications, right? So I will select app download preference. I want to select app download preferences for us to be able to see what options we have here in terms of preferences when it comes to downloading applications. And this one is very useful because remember when I was sharing you the point where I said it's very important for you, it's preferable for you to be using a Wi-Fi connection when you are downloading apps. So we can manage that here, right? If we look at this, it gives us 3 different preference settings. We can download application over any network. In other words, that means as long as my phone has internet connection, it can download an application. Second one is I can only download an application if it's connected over a Wi-Fi, right? And the last one is ask me every time. In other words, every time I decide to download an app, the phone will prompt me to confirm if I want to do it, whether I have Wi-Fi or if I have data, right? So personally, I prefer over Wi-Fi only because I have Wi-Fi access at work. I have Wi-Fi access at home. So it's easier for me to just select that, right? So if it's a similar case for you, if you always have Wi-Fi access, then it's easier to just select this one. So once I tap on the option that I have selected, I will tap on done. So that gives me that security that if I don't have Wi-Fi, I cannot download an app using just my phone data. Let me just go back here. Okay. So again, that was for downloading applications, right? Then the other one I want us to look at is the auto update apps. This, again, as I mentioned, is for the updating of applications. So I will tap on auto update apps to expand and see the options, right? Similarly, here it gives us 3 different preference options. So the first one is auto updating apps over any network. In other words, as long as a new update comes up for that application, it will automatically update it regardless if I'm over a Wi-Fi network, whether I'm using my phone's data, it will update it. The second option is it will update it as soon as I get a Wi-Fi connection. Right? And the third option is do not auto update my apps. Right? So the third option is mostly if you are always going into your Play Store and seeing which applications need updates and you update it automatically, right? So again, it depends on your preference. Of the 3 options, I would recommend either over Wi-Fi only or don't auto update apps, right? The only challenge with choosing over Wi-Fi only is that sometimes some applications are updating every other day, right? And maybe your battery life is very low and you may not be wanting to waste your battery life on an update, on an app update, sorry. But your phone doesn't ask you for permission, right? As long as it has Wi-Fi connection, it updates. So that is the only challenge. It will not ask you when to update. It will do it whenever it identifies that an application has an update. Whereas if you select the last option, don't auto update apps, you can determine when you want to update those apps, right? It could be every Friday. If you want, every Friday you can go to your Play Store and see which app needs updating and you can do that, right? Personally, I select the last one. I want to be able to update those apps whenever I go into the application. So once you select the option, you tap on done to save your preference. So once you save your preferences, we can go back to the Play Store to view our applications. Okay, so to go back, you just tap back on settings here, the arrow. And this will take us back to the Play Store. Okay. So what I want to show you next is how to manually update your applications. How to manually update your apps. To do so, you go into the Play Store, you open your settings again. Remember, you just tap at the top here to open your options and select My Apps and Games. What this does, this takes you to the list of applications that you have in your device. Okay, so here, if you notice, I have all of these applications on my device that are pending update. Right? If you notice next to it, to the right-hand side, is the update option. Now, I can select the update all button at the top, and that will update all these applications. It might take some time. It might use up your battery life. It might use up your memory. So it will slow down your phone, your device for a while, right? So personally, I do not like to update all apps at the same time. I usually browse through the different applications and see which ones are most important to me to update. Okay, so in this example, the applications that I'm choosing to update would be the ones that I use most often. And that would be, for example, WhatsApp Messenger. I would always want to have this one updated. So I tapped on update and you'll notice now that it's updating. And the other application that I want to always have updated is my Gmail. So I tap on update to update my application. Right? So once I tap update, I can just leave it and it will update in the background. So again, ladies, once more, this is how to manually update your apps on your device, right? Any questions regarding the downloading and updating of apps, ladies?
Yes, suppose you want to update the app on your laptop. Where do you go?
What type of laptop do you have, Miss Green?
I don't remember.
It's okay. It's okay. The process will be similar, right? The view will be a little bit different, but your laptop has its own settings button as well. Its own space for settings. So first of all, we want to search for that, for our settings. Okay. And then once we have found the settings, it will give us settings for different aspects of the device, right? Whether it's for display, whether it's for applications, whether it's for security, just to name a few examples, right? And what we want to be looking at is for anything that has to do with apps, right? Either with apps or with security. So again, just look for settings, and in settings, look for your app settings. And in there, it will give you the option to update your applications as well, right? Again, this is if your setting is set to manual updates. Manual updates. Because sometimes these laptops come once, you know, when we buy a laptop, it's because they have already done some configurations on them that we don't have to do nothing. We just start using it, right? So sometimes these have already been configured to do automatic updates that we don't even know. It just, sometimes, I'm not sure if you have experienced this, but it just gives you a notification below on your screen that a certain application needs an update. And then you just click there and it updates. Right? So it just depends on what settings you have. But if you want to verify, you can always go to settings and check for app settings or device settings. Any other question, ladies, that you want to clarify? So the first thing I want you to do after today's session is go into your apps and see which ones need updates. Yes, Miss Patsy, tell me.
Oh, okay. So I'm just going into my settings now on my Samsung phone. So I press settings, but I don't see on the top where you had your, like a picture or something, where you went into?
For the profile, let me just go back here. One second.
Settings.
This one here.
Yes, I don't see that one there.
Okay. So you went into the Play Store.
Oh, no, I didn't go into the Play Store. That's my mistake. Okay, the Play Store.
Okay.
Okay. Right, I see that. Yeah.
You found it now?
Yeah, I found.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, great, great. Yeah, so as long as it's apps, it would be in either the Play Store or settings, right? Depending on what it is that we want to do with these apps. Okay, let's just proceed now to when we are again app management, right? We're still at app management. So sometimes we're just downloading applications because we found a new one or we found an interesting one. But then sometimes we run into this error message, right? This one on the on the right-hand side that says your storage space is running out. Because our mobile device has limited storage space as well. It's not unlimited. It's only a certain amount of data or storage that it can hold. So what do we do when we run into this issue? Well, we need to free up some space, right? We need to free up some space for new apps or for new pictures, whatever it is that we need this space for. So how do we free up some space? Well, first of all, the easiest way for us to free up some space is to delete apps that we do not use. Perhaps we downloaded some applications last year and we have not used them. We can always delete those, right? Because in the event we want to start using them again, we can download them from the app, from the Play Store once more, right? But if we're not using it for the past 2 to 3 months, more than likely we won't be using it anytime soon. We can also remove all photos, videos, or messages that we no longer need, right? So we can also delete this type of media from our phone. Or the last option would be, maybe these are not all photos. Maybe we want all the pictures. So we would back up these photos and videos to a cloud service. Right? And Google Photos is the cloud service that Google users have access to. So as long as you have a Gmail account or a Google account, Google gives you a complimentary cloud service space for you to back up data to the cloud. Right? So the space for videos and photos is called Google Photos. So what that does, it removes all these videos and photos from your phone and it stores it on the cloud. So you're not deleting the pictures, you're just removing it from your phone to make space for new pictures or for new videos. Right, so again, sometime we will run into this message where we are informed that we're running out of storage and we need to free up some space. So in the next slide, I have a short video tutorial on how we can clear up space through our Play Store. Right? So again, our Play Store is for managing applications. So through the Play Store, we can remove unnecessary applications, right? And let me see if this one has, yes, this one has audio. 5086. I will start playing the video tutorial for units.
There is one way we can clear up
Is the
storage
audio too low?
from our mobile device, and that is by removing unnecessary apps from our device. So to do that, we go to the Play Store application. So I'll tap on the Play Store, and we go to our account information.
Can you turn up the volume on that? I'm barely hearing it.
Okay, sure.
And
let me see if I can turn up the volume from my device.
I will select my apps and games.
Is that better?
So I want to see all
A little bit
on my device.
Okay, let me just pump up this volume here.
There is one way we can
How is that?
clear up storage from our mobile device, and that is by
I don't know. My hearing must be leaving me.
from our device. So to do that,
I have to put it to
we
my
go to
ears,
the
then
Play
I
Store
can't see the
application.
screen.
So I'll tap on the Play Store,
Okay, okay.
and we go to our account information, which is the icon here at the top.
Let me just walk you through it then.
And
it's
I
better
will
that
select
way.
my apps
So that
and games. So
I will just mute it here and I will walk you through it. Okay, because the audio seems to be a little bit low. Okay, so again, to clear up space in the Play Store, we need to go to the Play Store app here. So I will tap on that Play Store app to go to the Play Store. And the process is similar. Okay, we go to our settings by going to the top here to open our settings. And we go to My Apps and Games. Again, this will give us a list of the applications that we have on our device, right? So more specifically, if you look at the top here, we have different tabs or slides. I want us to go to Installed. So from Updates, we tap Installed, and that gives us specifically a list of all the apps that our phone has. So if you notice here, I moved from Updates now to Installed, okay, because it's highlighted green. So here, what you're seeing is, again, as I mentioned, a list of all the applications that I have on the mobile device. So to be able to clear up space, we want to look at storage here, which is right below under below Manage Your Apps, the storage option here. Okay, that is where we're going to tap. So I select that to open that functionality. Okay. And right there and then you'll notice at the top, it says free up space, right? So basically this is where we want to be. I want to free up space by deleting applications. And it does here, it just gives us again, once more, the list of applications that we have. And on the on the right-hand side, the ability to select which application we want to delete. So in this example, I will just browse through my apps, the app that I could afford to delete, okay? And also, in case you didn't notice, right below the application, each application name, it will tell you when last you accessed that application. So in this example, it says used 1 minute ago. As used 12 hours ago. Other application says used 3 weeks ago, right? So again, from here, you can determine which application you can afford to delete to make space. One that says used 6 months ago, I think you can delete that, right? Because then you want to make space for newer stuff. So again, I browse through the apps and I select an application that I can afford to delete. And you'll notice as soon as I tap that application, it tells me how much space I will free up once I remove that app. So in this example, it says I can free up to 18 megabytes if I delete this app. So I will go and select another application to see how much space, how much more space I can delete. So by adding this second application here, this one, it says now that I can free up to 31 megabytes, right? And so on and so on. We will go about determining which apps we want to delete to clear up space. So now I'm satisfied with freeing up 31 megabytes. Once I am okay with that, I will then tap on this green space bar looking icon to proceed with deleting or cleaning up those applications. So I press free up 31 MB. And it asks you to confirm if you indeed want to delete those apps, right? And once you confirm, it will give you a notification that 31 MB was removed from your device. Okay? And once we are deleted that space, then that can allow us to download more applications or have more space for new photos or videos. Why it's important to bring across this ability to clear up space is because sometimes when we are updating apps, the phone might not have enough space for the update. So even though you have downloaded the application is already downloaded on your device, but you want to update the application, not allow you to update it because it has limited space. So once we get that notification, just go back to our Play Store and see which apps we can remove to allow us to update these apps. Okay. So that has happened to a lot of mobile device users where we run into space issues just because we want to update an app.
Miss Delcy, how important is it for your phone to be backed up? Because I keep getting a message that my phone hasn't been backed up in X number of weeks because I don't have enough space.
Okay. So, you have an iPhone, right, Miss Corrine?
Yes.
Okay. So your iPhone by default is tied to an Apple account. And your Apple account, if I'm not mistaken, has its own iCloud.
Yes.
That's the cloud service. Now,
Right.
Samsung has a similar service where it offers the Samsung Cloud. And again, as I mentioned, the cloud is just a space, a virtual space for you to save data. To answer your question, how important it is, it depends on how much value you place to the data that is on your phone. If it's just information that you can afford to lose, then you don't really have to back up your data. Information that, say for example, you have important family pictures or have probably some documents that someone shared to you and you really want to keep it, then you would want to back up your data because If you don't back it up and something happens to your phone, you lose it, for example, there's no way that you can get whatever data you had there. You lose the phone, sorry, you lose the phone and you lose the photos and you lose all the files that are there. But if you back up your phone, the good thing about backing it up is that you have copies of whatever was in your phone somewhere else, right? So even if you lose your phone,
Yeah.
if you drop your phone in water for some reason, right? For example, if you drop your phone on water, in water for some reason, you don't even have a chance to back up your data.
Mhm.
Right? But if you have already backed it up, then the phone you don't really need the phone. So how do you retrieve that data from the cloud? You get a new phone, enter your Apple ID to access the cloud, and then just download whatever you had in the cloud back to your phone.
Okay. And can you go, well, I know that you can go into cloud and delete stuff that is already backed up, but that may not be important to you. How do you do that?
Right. So you can go to your cloud and delete data that you no longer use. Right. You are correct in saying that. To do that, of course, you need to go to your cloud space. So I'm not really sure how the iCloud works, but I would think that it's the same concept again. You just go to your iCloud, log in, of course, with your password. And in there, you will select whatever data you want to remove.
Okay.
It's just like if you're deleting data from your phone or from your computer.
Yes.
It's just that it's using our login and it's a cloud service.
Okay, so thanks.
But I would really recommend the backing up of your phone data on cloud service. For Miss Corrine, she already has the iCloud that comes with the Apple users. For us Android users, most of us have a Google account, right? Google account gives us Google Drive. I have Google Drive, which is our cloud service. So we can use Google Drive to save our pictures, to save our videos, to save any documents.
Is Google same as Google Photos?
Google Drive is not the same as Google Photos, but they come from the same provider.
Yes, because Google Photos say they offer a service where you can save an infinite amount of pictures.
Right. So Google Photos is specifically for that. It's for pictures and videos. Google Drive is more for documents. Like if you have a PowerPoint presentation or a PDF or an book or audiobook, you can save
So if you have an iPhone, you can't have a Google Drive?
Right, you cannot. You can have a Google Drive, Miss Corrine, but you won't be able to use it from your iPhone.
Oh, okay.
Go to your computer and access it there, but not from your iPhone.
All right.
So yeah, those are two applications that I would recommend for you ladies to use for backing up your data. It is very, very useful.
Ms. Delcy,
Yes, Miss Patsy, go ahead.
so if you have the so does your phone automatically back up to your Google Drive, or do you have to do it manually?
to do it manually.
Yeah? Oh, so how can you go through that for us?
Okay, let me see if I can find that here.
Which thing? The white counter.
Okay. Miss Patsy, are you interested in backing up data from your phone or from your computer or both? Or either?
From my phone.
From your phone. Okay.
Yeah.
So from your phone, it will be a little bit different from if you're using the computer, right? So
Oh,
what
yeah.
to do, because it will be a bit difficult for me to walk you through the process. I want to be able to show you the process.
Yes.
Okay. If it's okay with you, allow me tomorrow to do the video tutorial from my phone and I can show you how to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be better for me to show you that way.
Okay.
Okay, I can do that for you. So I will make the video tutorial. I will do the video tutorial tonight. How you can back up data using Google Drive, and also I can show you how you can set up your Google Photos.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Thank you.
So let me just make sure I write that down and have that ready for you tomorrow. Okay. Let me just go back to the presentation here. So one last thing, ladies, before we exit or before we end the conversation regarding managing applications, there is another way that we can disable an application, okay, or deleting it from our phone. We don't have to go to the Play Store. So we can do that from our home screen, from our device, okay? And here is another short video tutorial showing you how to do that on your phone. And this one again doesn't have audio, so I will just walk you through it. So again, to disabling an app is almost the same thing as deleting or uninstalling an application, right? That means we're completely removing it from the phone. We're erasing it from the phone. So to do that, we go through our home screen, our device, and we find the app that we want to delete, okay? In this example, I want to delete this application specifically, the one that says Adidas Running. Okay, that is the app I want to disable. So what I do is I tap on this app and I keep my finger on the app until the above menu pops up, right? Because sometimes if we just tap, that opens the app, but that's not what we want to do. We want to keep tapping on it until this menu appears, right? And that gives us the option to uninstall. So this is what we're looking for, the uninstall option. Again, remember, when we're going to delete the app, we need to tap on the app until this appears, not just single tap. So once we have this menu up, we will select uninstall. We just tap on uninstall to remove that specific application. And once I tap on uninstall, it will ask me again to confirm. And I click OK. And you will notice right now that the app will disappear from this screen. So that means again that the application has been removed from the device. So this is just a quick way of removing an application from your phone. And the last item under managing applications is downloading an antivirus for your phone. Right? And this specifically goes for Android users. Miss Corinne, for iPhone users, they already come with default antivirus and security mechanisms that we don't have to download an antivirus for iPhones. And that is one of the reasons why for iPhone users, they are quite limited as to what apps they can download for free.
Okay.
Right? It's quite limited. If you compare an Android user versus a iPhone user, the Play stores for Android users, they have a lot of different apps to download for free. But for iPhone users, it's limited because of the same reason that they try to protect the apps that you can download. But nonetheless, for us Android users, we can add another layer of protection by downloading an antivirus. So Google already has the Play Protect app that has some security measures to protect your phone for whenever you're downloading an app or downloading games from your Play Store. But we also want to add that added protection to our smartphones by downloading an antivirus. And to get an antivirus, it will come through an application. Okay. And the top 3 recommended free antivirus applications would be these 3 that I have here. All right. So the first one would be the Kaspersky, internet security. This is this green one here. And then we also have the Avast mobile security Android app and the Sophos Intercept X from mobile. So these are antivirus applications that is highly recommended to download on your phone for that added security.
Are those free?
These are free, yes.
Okay.
These are free. So how these antiviruses usually operate, when you download an app, the antivirus is running in the background and it scans the app. It scans the app and it tells you, okay, this app is safe or this app is not safe. Right? So they have certain things that they check for in these apps to be able to tell you whether they're safe or not. So that's why I said these are some trusted antiviruses that you can use for your devices.
Because the iPhone comes with a default antivirus, does it mean that you don't have to do that check before you download an app?
The checklist that I had shared with you. Yes.
Okay.
the checklist that I had shared with you, that
Really,
is, yes, it's mostly for Android users, right? So it's just a practice that you can follow, but the iPhone is the most secure of the two operating systems, right? The iPhone.
I will let my sons know because they don't have iPhones.
Okay, yes, for non-iPhone users, yeah, we need that added protection because it's not as safe. Okay, ladies.
That's very interesting. I didn't know that.
Yes.
I thought the smartphones were just, safe just like that.
Okay. That is the idea that they're safe, right? But as I mentioned, sometimes these hackers are one step ahead.
Yes.
Right? So we want to
Okay.
be 2 steps ahead.
Yes, that's right.
So
Thank you. Yeah.
we want to have that added protection.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Take a 2-minute break before we jump into the latter part of the session. It was really good to stretch up a little bit. But you're sitting down for a while. Sometimes you don't really realize how long you've been sitting down until you get up. You notice that you needed that little stretch. Okay, ladies, so let's proceed with the latter part of today's session. Okay, so we're going to be looking at more specifically improving our social connection, right? So what else can we do other than video calling and messaging and contacting our loved ones, right? So one of the functionalities that we can take advantage from our WhatsApp application is the sending of attachments. Okay, we can send attachments via WhatsApp. And these are specifically, sending attachments is mostly only possible via applications such as Facebook and WhatsApp. We do not have that functionality if we're using our regular text messages. Right? So we can share from pictures, videos, files, and even location. Okay, even location we can share. So how do we go about sharing files via WhatsApp? It is quite easy to share files via WhatsApp, right? So first of all, we need to select the recipient. Whom is it that we want to send the file to? So once we open the chat box, we want to look for this paperclip icon here, right? So this paperclip icon is for attachments. So once we tap on the paperclip icon, it will give us these options here for attachments. In other words, it gives us the ability to attach documents, to attach images. We can attach audio recordings, location, and also any contact information that we have and we want to share or send with someone. We can also attach contact information, right? So again, based on what it is that we want to send, we will select the specific option. So in this case, send a document. So a document could be a PDF file, it could be an MP3 file, it could be a PowerPoint file. We can basically send any of these documents through WhatsApp, okay? So once we select document here, once we tap document, it will automatically send us to our documents library, which is this that we see on the right-hand side. It will take us to our file library where we have all of these documents saved, right? So here we just select the document that we want to send, and that automatically attaches the file and sends it to the recipient. Okay. So as I mentioned, it's quite easy. You just select the attachment, tap the attachment icon here, and you determine what type of attachment you want to send. If we want to send a picture, we tap on gallery, and this will take us to our picture gallery where we will select the picture that we want to send. Okay, the same thing with contact. If we want to send a contact, we tap on contact, and this will take us to our contact directory. And there we will select the contact information that we want to send or share with the person. So following this, I have a short video that will show you how to share live location via WhatsApp, right? And this, I have found it to be very useful in a couple of examples when I have ordered food delivery, and the person really doesn't know where I live. I can send my location via WhatsApp so that they can just follow it from their Google Maps. So I don't have to explain to them it's on this street next to this place or red house, greenhouse. I just send my location and the person can locate me, right? Also, I have shared my location with my parents. Sometimes they are to pick me up from the bus stop, for example, but they don't know what time they should leave home. So I just send them my live location and they can see when I am about to reach the bus terminal and they can leave at the time that they think is appropriate to leave, right? So again, as I mentioned, there are different purposes for sharing your live location, but I think this is very, very useful. So I will play the video for you to see how it is that you can share your live location and how it looks like. Okay.
WhatsApp already gives you the option to share your current location with other users, but that's a static one-time share. But WhatsApp recently rolled out a new feature called live location sharing. So here's everything you need to know. When you try to share your location in a WhatsApp chat, for Android, tap the attach icon and click on location. Similarly for iOS, tap on the plus icon and click on location. On both devices, you'll now see the option of share live location. The default time preset for sharing a live location is 1 hour, but you can also choose between 15 minutes and 8 hours and optionally choose to add a comment too. Once set and done, your live location will pop up as a thumbnail in the recipient's chat where you can see the initial location of the user and a live until time. And upon tapping View Live Location, you will be taken to a map view where you can see the current location of the user who is currently sharing the location with you in the chat. Users still have the option to share a one-time static location if they prefer, and also there's the option to stop sharing live location data within a chat at any given time. So thanks for watching this video, and for all things tech, log on to gadgets360.com.
Okay, was that a little bit too fast for you ladies, or was it good enough for you to follow?
It was a little bit fast.
It was too fast. I figured
A little too fast, yeah.
because it was too fast for me, but I just needed to verify with you ladies. So what I will do is, and this is something that we will look, if not today, tomorrow, how to slow down the pace of a YouTube video.
Okay.
Right? And this is a perfect example. So while I'm on YouTube, we look again for the settings, which is this pinwheel. I click on that and I look for playback speed. This says normal. So if I click here, it gives me the option to slow down the speed or to make it fast. Right, so in this case, I want to slow it down. So I will, let me try half the speed, right? Or select 0.5 and you will know how it's slowed down.
WhatsApp already gives you the option to share your current location with other users, but that's a static one-time share. But WhatsApp recently rolled out a new feature called live location sharing. So here's everything you need to know. When you try to share your location in a WhatsApp chat, for Android, tap the attach icon and click on location. Similarly for iOS, tap on the plus icon and click on location. On both devices, you'll now see the option of share live location. The default time preset for sharing a live location is 1 hour, but you can also choose between 15 minutes and 8 hours and optionally choose to add a comment too. Once set and done, your live location will pop up as a thumbnail in the recipient's chat where you can see the initial location of the user and a live until time. And upon tapping View Live Location, you will be taken to a map view where you can see the current location of the user who is currently sharing the location with you in the chat. Users still have the option to share a one-time static location if they prefer, And also there's the option to stop sharing live location data within a chat at any given time. So thanks for watching this video, and for all things tech, log on to gadgets360.com.
Okay, ladies. So that
How
was
do you, how do you begin the process?
Can you repeat that, Miss Green? I didn't.
How do you begin the process to share the live location?
Review the process?
Please.
Yeah.
Sure, no problem. Let me just use the video, but with my, I will just do the voiceover, okay? So here we would go to access the live location. Again, we would go to the same attachment icon, which is the paperclip pin. Okay, so we would tap there and let me go back here. Okay, so we'll tap the pin and we'll select location, right? The view is different for you, Miss Corinne, but it will be location. The name will have location, right? So you tap on location, and once you tap on location, it will send you to the map. So let me go back to the video to show you that specifically. Okay. So once we tap the map or the location, it will prompt us to turn on our location or turn on our GPS. Sometimes I don't usually keep my location or my GPS turned on my phone, right? So if it's not turned on, as soon as we select location, it will ask us to turn it on because, well, we cannot really share our location if our GPS is not activated. So once it prompts us to select to turn on location, we click on continue, turn on our location, and then go back to this option here, which is right now, as soon as it gets here. So again, tap on the pin, select location. And it will give us this option here. Let me just try it back a little bit. Here. Right? So when we turn on our GPS, it will send us to this view. And this is where we will select share live location.
Okay.
This is for an Android user, and Ms. Corinne, this is for an iPhone user. Right? So you tap on share live location. Once you tap on share live location, it will then ask you to select for how long you want to share your live location. By default, it gives you 1 hour. So that means that once you tap share live location, after 1 hour, whoever you sent it to will no longer be seeing your live location. But if you want it for less time, you can select 15 minutes, or you can select up to 8 hours of sharing.
Okay.
So again, it depends on how long you want to send it. So you again select how long you want to send it. In this case, he chose 15 minutes, right? You notice here, 15 minutes.
I don't know if it's because our carrier in Belize doesn't have the service, but I was talking with my nephew who lives in New York, and he says that he can send pictures to his mom through the regular text message. But when I try to do it, like that area is grayed out, like it's not active.
Right. Yes, unfortunately, that's not a service that we have here in the ability to send media through text messages.
I cannot send it through the text message, but I can send it through Messenger.
Or WhatsApp.
Or WhatsApp.
Messenger, WhatsApp, yes.
Right. Yes, you're right, Miss Corinne. We don't have that service. I think we had it before. It was called multimedia service, I think, but it was MMS.
Okay.
Yeah, the regular text message is SMS, short messaging service, I think. And then MMS is multimedia service.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, but our carriers, they do not support that service anymore. It's unfortunate, but we can do it via WhatsApp and Messenger, which is free of cost, because when we used to do it over the regular text messages, it would incur additional costs
Okay.
from your credit. But yes, it is because we don't have the service here. Okay, so yes, once you select the time, you press send, and the person can now see your live location as it would show here, right?
Okay.
They can actually see your live location. They can see if you move, if you are, say for example, in a moving vehicle, they will be able to see how that GPS is moving along with you. Okay.
So I can ask a question. If I am here in Belize and I download my location, can my daughter see where she lives in Vegas?
Yes, as long as it's Google Maps.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, I think it's very useful. If they
I don't know if it's the same thing, Miss Delcy, but one of my friends told me that she lives here in Belmopan and her daughter lives in, I think it's California, and she could see her through Google Map. Is that possible?
Yeah, this is what I asked her just now.
Yes.
I saw her in her yard.
Okay, we have what we call, I forget what's the name of it. Oh, satellite view, sorry, satellite view. So even right now, if you want to go to Google Maps and you Google your location, you will be able to see a satellite view of your house, of your neighborhood. You can try it. It's not a real-time view though, right?
Oh.
Be like, they usually update those satellite views maybe every other day.
Uh-huh.
So it's not something where if Miss Patsy goes out right now and waves up in the sky, I can go into Google Map and I will see the immediate actions, right? So I'm not sure if it's as updated in the US, but in Belize, it's not real-time view.
Is that the same thing as Google Earth?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's amazing how technology has evolved. Before we just had the Google Maps, right? But with Google Earth, you can actually see a satellite view. And I mean, you could go see the rooftop of your house at this point. Up there, right? But yeah, it's quite interesting. So yes, ladies, sharing live location. Oh, one last thing. Remember we had set up when we were sharing live location, we had the option to select 15 minutes, 1 hour, or 8 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe we need 15 minutes. Sorry, we need more than 15 minutes, but less than an hour. So if for some reason we already want to stop sharing our live location before the time expires, we can go back to the chat box where we sent it and we select stop sharing. Right? And this is available for security reasons. If you sent it to the delivery guy, you don't want the delivery guy to have your live location for so long, right? So what I would do is as soon as I get my item delivered, I would just stop sharing the location because it doesn't need the location anymore. But that option is available there to stop sharing your live location. Any other question, ladies, that you want me to address before we end today's session? Okay, so for tomorrow, I will be looking at some items that we can, not items, sorry, some functionalities that we can use on YouTube. And one more look at online safety, which is specifically addressing how do we deal with fake news, right? Because right now we can, it's really hard to tell what is fake news versus accurate news, right? So we'll be looking at that. And I also want to end the training program with a fun game. But before that, I want to know how many of you ladies are aware with the Family Feud game?
How many of us are what?
How many of you know about the Family Feud game with Steve Harvey?
Oh, yeah, I watch it sometimes.
I used to watch it, but I don't watch it anymore.
You used to watch it? Okay.
Yes.
Do you have an idea how it's played?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay then. Miss Patsy,
Yeah.
can you search for Family Feud game just to have an idea of how it is played?
Okay.
But nonetheless, I will give a little bit, a small explanation or introduction of it tomorrow.
Would I find it on YouTube or somewhere?
It's
Yes.
on,
You find
Okay.
it on
but
YouTube.
if you have cable, it's on channel 182 in the evening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a funny family game.
Uh-huh.
I enjoyed watching it sometimes. So
Okay.
that is the concept that I want to use for tomorrow's game, right?
Okay.
So that's just a heads up of
Heads
what
up.
we're doing tomorrow.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, my funeral was today, it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Who said, Miss Corinne?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Well, that's unfortunate, but nonetheless, Miss Corinne, so that's fine. We understand. Okay, ladies, well, that is it for today's session. Thank you very much for your participation.
Well, at least I got a little part of it.
I know, Miss Glenda, I really didn't, I wasn't expecting you at all today, but so glad you were able to make it for the last part. Well, ladies, you have a good evening, and I will see you all tomorrow again.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And be
Good
safe.
afternoon, ladies.
Yep.
Good afternoon,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.